So this is what we call a simple controller. Down in this little section area is where the thermistor is, actually down here. It's got a little green LED, so if you turn it on, the light will be green if it's in the on position. This number I was telling you is what? Set point, yep. So then here's my different things that I have. So I've got, over here on the right side, I got louver position. This will only show up when it's connected to a unit that has louvers. If this is connected to a ducted unit, you got ducted units anywhere?
We do.
Okay, so if you got ducted units somewhere, that won't show up because it knows there's no ducts. No louvers on a ducted unit. You got fan speed, and then you've got mode. So, you know, it's typical little symbols. You know, sun for heat. This little teardrop is a dry mode. Basically runs it in cooling.
Yeah, for humidity control.
Yeah. And then fan. So then you got, you know.
So you can't put these in auto mode?
Yeah, you can. However, you've got a BMS system that's way smarter. If you want to do auto changeover on these, I highly suggest you do automatic changeover through your BMS.
Okay. And have it set by outside there.
Yeah. Because otherwise, with the BMS, you can narrow down you can go 1.5 up, 1.5 down. My auto changeover is like 5 up, 5 down.
Okay.
So don't do that. You got a high speed, BMS system. Use that. You'll be much happier.
We'll talk to the EMS company about doing that.
Yeah.
You recording this?
Yes.
Okay. So, that controller will handle from 1 to 16 units. I guess in this room we only got 1 unit.
I think for most part it's 1-to-1, right?
There's only one room in the whole school that has 2 units with 1 controller, and that's the I2T room all the way in the cafeteria.
Yes,
all the way
that's
to
a separate piece.
That's the only one. Everyone else has 1 thermostat, 1 controller for 1 evaporator.
So that's your controller. That's your standard mini cassette, 4-way cassette. Which I'm not sure what other models you got in here.
Yep.
You got any of the bigger cassettes?
We do have a couple of the bigger cassettes as well, which looks just like this. Just a larger version.
That
Filters underneath.
Lights. Yeah. That's a changeover box.
Okay.
So that's a 12-port changeover box.
Yep.
I got 3 circuit boards. Each circuit board handles 4 ports.
This particular one does 10 units.
So he's got 10 out of the 12 ports utilized, probably. You don't have to use all 12. So that's where all the magic happens for heat recovery. There's 3 pipes coming from the outdoor unit, 2 vapors, and a liquid line. The liquid line hits that box, enters that box, and leaves that box on the exit on the liquid ports. But there is no valve whatsoever inside that box for liquid. There's no control on liquid. Liquid is just a header pass through. It's for convenience.
Okay.
So the other thing we do is the 2 vapor lines that are connected to it. One is always a dedicated suction vapor, and one can be suction or hot gas, depending on what the primary mode of the unit is. So if all my zones are in cooling, both of those lines will be suction cooling.
Okay.
If one unit says, hey, I want some heat, it's going to cause the outdoor unit to switch a reversing valve. It's going to put hot gas in that one line. The valves in here are going to shift in line accordingly, depending on, what's supposed to be connected to the indoor unit, whether it's going to be suction vapor or hot gas. So one will shut and one will open at that point. So that's the changeover box. Cassette. Now if it's a heat pump, of course we don't have that. It's just 2 pipes to the indoor unit.
So there are 2 of these changeover boxes in your building entirely. This is the one that does all the first floor B. So this is HRCU 1 up on the roof. And then right in the corridor of B building, right up here, is the second one. And that's all of second floor.
Okay, so all the boxes are essential 1 location per unit, per outdoor unit?
Right, so there's the distribution box. There's one for the first floor for HRCU 1. And there's one on the second floor that does all the second floor units. There's 9 of them there. And that's in HRCU 2.
Okay.
So it's all in condenser.
So you as a Twidget, you can't see this box on your system. Okay. There's no the communication lands in there, but there's no You don't talk to this box.
Yeah.
However, if somebody ever turns a breaker off or the breaker trips or whatever for the power to that box, you will not see any of your indoor units.
Which I was told by Dave is your issue.
So if you see an outdoor unit and you don't see indoor units on the heat recovery, you need to probably check the power on this box first.
All right.
So it does have a service switch right up there. You can see it. That service switch is for this box right here. So all of the evaporators have their own service switches too. So right above every unit, right next to every unit, there's a service switch. So if you ever needed to work on just one evaporator, you could shut that circuit off right there at the unit.
If you're going to ever shut one off, shut it off at the controller first, so that the expansion valve drives shut. Yeah, because if you just hit the service switch, the expansion valve stops in the position that it was at.
You're gonna have a refrigerator flop.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want
Okay, I'll preach it to the choir, man.
It's easy to rabbit ears train people who know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's tougher when it's. So we're appreciative that you guys are
And we're appreciative.
somewhat knowledgeable about this stuff. That
Anything you notice that kind of goes wrong with those that you've seen inconsistent things like a certain sensor or something?
There's no sensors in there. I mean, each board, like I said, takes care of 4 ports, and they're channeled so that whatever where the 2 wires, the 2 terminal points on the bottom of the board directly match the port on the front side. So, each indoor unit has a cable from the indoor unit to that box.
Yeah.
So that it's talking to the box and the ports.